they can be girls with her, the girl side, you know what I mean? Fags have the heart and soul of a woman with the sex drive of a man, basically, which is why they're so inordinately and flagrantly promiscuous. You know, you've heard of stories of, you know, the bath clubs and so forth of having sex with 100 men a night. You know, can you imagine, with your sex drive of a man, being able to fuck all the women in the world and that all the women want to fuck you? You fuck 100 a night. No, I don't know about you, but you know, if you have the sex drive of a man, you know. And no, I'm so hip to that kind of thing. I've so been around. I've only had one homosexual experience in my life. It's when I was 16, mutual masturbation. But again, starting from her and, you know, and being with the dog, that's the biggest education of the world, just spending uncounted hours in public parks. Uncounted hours. And also in national forests. You can go down to Apalachicola Forest, for that matter. And there's a place called Lost Lake there. And it's a day-use area only now, which is why. That's nothing but a homosexual cruising ground. That's the place that's got a lake there, several acres, with a perimeter road going around it, and an entrance drive. And you drive in, and there'll be guys in vehicles, single guys in vehicles spaced all around. And as you drive in, there'll be one or two of them staked out of the entrance to see who's coming in. They want to get dibs on you if you look good. So if you look good, they'll start following you, and they'll follow you around, and when you park somewhere, they'll park about 50 yards away. There's another park that was notorious, although Gwinnett County has really tightened down on them. That's Lucky Shoals Park on Britt Road, which is between Old Norcross Road and Jimmy Carter Road, and it's an extension of Singleton Road, I guess, something like that. And yeah, it's Lucky Shoals Park. You have to check it out sometime. I opened that park up. Me and Ranger did when it was built. It was being built in 1990, 91. I opened that park up, and that got so bad as a homosexual cruising ground that it had a circular drive at the end with an island of vegetation and trees in the middle, and so it would be like guys parked, you know, all around. You know, wasn't it was, you know, facing. I don't know. You don't call it parallel park. You know, regular parking slot. And so they'd all be sitting around there. They'd be holding a magazine, you know, like this, so they could masturbate, you know, underneath it. And then the cruisers would be cruising around and around in a circle. Oh, it's funny. And finally, though, it attracted the attention of Gwinnett County. And I got to know the officers there and everything. It's embarrassing, you know, you're a single guy there, but at least I got an excuse. I got a dog. If I was a homosexual cruising, I'd make sure I had a dog, tell you the truth. You know, because any single guy in there would be pegged as a homo, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cops would pull up to me and they go, hey, how you doing? Hey, great. And he said, well, how's the crowd tonight? I said, well, if you mean the soliciting for sodomy crowd, they've been keeping it down a little bit, you know, and if they bug me, I tell them they don't know what they're risking, man. Gwinnett County's undercover in here. They come in here and arrest 27 people over lunch hour. One time Gwinnett County did, not there, but at another part, I think it was Shorty Owl part, did a undercover, you know, sodomy operation on lunch. Arrested 27 guys over lunch. And it showed the vehicles that they were impounding, and they were company vehicles. Yeah, they were like celebrities, and just company vehicles, company trucks. I'd hate to have been them. And you know, can you imagine that, having their family and everything soliciting for sodomy? I guess it would. I don't know if sodomy's against the law anymore. It might be now just soliciting for sex in a public park, but it was soliciting for sodomy and everything. Oh, so it's given me a huge insight. And I know what goes on in the truck parks too, because I've known prostitutes that work these big transport cities and everything. They'll just get in their car and they'll go driving around with the window open and wave to guys, and if a guy wants to talk to them, he'll flash his lights or wave at them. They'll just stop and get there's 200 semis pulled up, and that's what homosexuals do too, because a lot of these rough, tough truck drivers are gay. Did you ever see the Cops episode? The TV show Cops. I'm sure there was one episode where the police stopped a guy. He was a trucker. He was running down the street and he was wearing nothing but leopard print panties with pantyhose, a woman's wig, and woman's makeup on. And he was a real man too, a real guy. And it turned out that he had got a guy in the cab of his truck for homosexual sex, and the guy grabbed his wallet and run. And it was so funny to see a rough, tough truck driver, and he was too, big old strapping guy, talk like a truck driver and everything. He wasn't no pansy waist either, and he's wearing these pantyhose, leopard skin briefs, and a woman's wig and with a woman's makeup on. It was that was a hilarious. And they replayed that several times. I'm surprised. Do you guys watch that show?
Every once in a while.
I like to watch it. It shows how police officers work.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive. That's why I know police officers are so. That and my personal encounters with them. Back in the '60s or '50s, I mean, they knocked shit out of you. I mean, they were just guys that couldn't get a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just goons, more or less. Of course, they were individuals.
Right.
But my hats are off to the police, the modern police, because almost uniformly, just in the smaller departments like Duluth and Chamblee, do you see people that are obese and that are just not up to par. I mean, I like to say with the Chamblee police, I've had my share of encounters with them too, plenty. And the Chamblee police are just the type that would drive up and jump out and shoot the victim instead of the perpetrator. Really. One time I had a panhandler chasing me, and I flagged down because I told him, get lost, go away. He was in Chamblee, and he'd come from downtown from Marta and come up there in front of the Walgreens and everything. And I always had my bat with me. I won't get out, as I said to that Cherokee officer, I take it in everywhere but banks and government buildings like post office. I carry it everywhere, or did. Anyway, I had my bat in my hand, actually. I told him, get lost, get the fuck out. And he started giving me a bunch of shit. And he started coming after me, and I saw a Chamblee police drive by. I flagged them down, and it turned out there were a couple of them. And they came in, and I ran up to them, to an officer, with him chasing me. And my bat wasn't deployed. It was just still folded, he didn't even know I had it. I hadn't waved it or nothing. I just had it. And, if I can run, I'm not going to hit someone. I'm obligated to try to get away. You just, you can't stand there and hit them. You got to try to flee. Okay. And I ran up to one officer, and then another officer grabbed the guy, and then I was talking to one officer, and the guy, the beggar, the panhandler, broke loose. He was a black panhandler, and came after me again. While I'm talking to an officer, I had to run away again. That officer grabbed him, and then another officer drove up and started getting my story, and I called his attention. I said, just to make sure he saw it, because, it's only 9 inches. I said, I have an expanded bat in my hand. And he started going, what? What are you doing with that? You can't carry that. And then, here I am, a guy chasing me, running for my life, and now he's chewing my ass out. So, really, they're just the kind of guy that would drive up and shoot the victim instead of the perpetrator. They're sorry. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, with notable exceptions like that, most larger metropolitan departments, the police, Dekalb North, great. I've run across a couple of bad officers. Gwinnett County South, man, I swear, it seems that half of their officers probably have psychology degrees. They're good. They're really good. And these are the dudes that chase and fight and shoot too. What was it? Dekalb County in that period of time killed 12 people in about 15 months. And guess what? And shot a lot of other ones. And, they had a big fury, and they had the blue ribbon panel investigated all, including the Baptist ministers, the whole works. And every shooting was justified. They were all good shootings. None of them were bad shootings. So these are the same dudes that fight, chase, and shoot, but yet can be professional and arrive at the truth of the situation. That's what saved me every damn time, is that it was a professional police officer, Because here would be that woman, Pam, someone that called into the Journal saying I was crazy. Well, she's the same woman that I asked her to hook her dogs up, and she finally did after I asked her a million times. And I made the mistake of smarting off to her. I said, you're the type to give dog owners a bad name, and she like that. I went and did another lap around Murphy County. I came back to my van. She had her 6'4" husband waiting for me. Yeah, she'd gone home. They got in their Mercedes and driven around to the parking lot. She had her great big old husband waiting for me, telling me he was going to kick my ass. I was carrying a 36-inch solid bat. And I just let him back me around the parking lot. It was a slow motion chase, and the whole time I'm telling him, call the police, let the police handle it. And the woman watched me, and she saw I was about to smack him. It's incumbent upon me to try to get away. It is, but I'm not going to turn my back and run either. That's a good way to get cold cocked. So it's a slow motion chase backward, and I'm doing it the right way. And so they call the police. They tell the police a bunch of lies. This is Dekalb North. I fled and called the police and told them where I was at another parking lot I called in. I just wanted to get away from them, not be in the vicinity while the police were coming. So the police came to me, took my stick. He said, first thing he says, where's the stick? Right here. Okay. Took my story. Then another unit arrived. He sat on me, and while the first guy that took my stick went around, got their story. They told him their pack of lies. That Dekalb North officer came back around, got out, opened the back door of his car. I thought, damn, is he going to put me in there? He got my stick out, gave me my stick back, and he said, I told those people that you have a right to carry this stick, and you have a right to defend yourself if they feel, that you feel you're afraid of their dog. And I guess he left it unsaid that he told them that what the guy had done is just committed an assault on me, is what he did. He's forced me to flee. So that's how good police officers are. They every time, of all those 30 times, every time they have arrived at the truth in that I did not act unlawfully. They may not be aware that they know the whole story every single time, and that just reflects so good on them, because these people lie. They tell outrageous lies. That woman I was telling you about at Stone Mountain, I called to a dog 150 yards away, sprayed one, stick the other. Well, she come running up saying, "You're just egging him on." She said. This same woman, during the next year, I saw her twice out at Stone Mountain, moving in the same direction I was on the trail. So I just kind of trailed her from a discreet distance. And both of those times, her dogs attacked the child. Once they attacked a little African-American boy, and his father had to grab the boy and put him on his shoulders. Another time, they attacked a white boy that was fishing there with his father and ran the little boy into the lake. Okay. Now this same chick and the same dogs, I went and did 6 miles around well over an hour later, and I come back, and she is there with the police, Stone Mountain Park Police, telling them that I had sprayed every kind of thing, verbally and everything, and the police asked me the story. I told them, dogs confronted me, put me in fear, discharged my pepper twice. So he understood. That's what I mean. They can understand when they're talking to a pro. Most police officers are pros, and they can understand when they're talking to a pro rather than just a civilian, But that's an example of how the police have the quality of the police work, is that she was mad enough to wait for over an hour, have the police there when I got back, tell him a pack of lies, and he was able to rapidly arrive at the truth of the matter.
Back on point for just a little bit, from 97 until 2007, I guess, you worked for Tabor, correct? And during that time, what kind of marketing did you do, or what kind of telephone solicitation did you do with that?
Siding, residential re-siding.
Residential siding?
Yeah.
How did you pick your people out when you're doing telemarketing? Do you look at the phone?
No, it was a process. It was an education. I just got into obtaining siding leads when I went to work for Tabor. I'd had a job for one other company and been trained. That was the Dixie Home Crafters, Superior Siding and Windows. Same guy owns both of them. How about one more coffee if there's any more in there? And so I was just doing a traditional way, getting a crisscross directory, calling blinds. Just getting an area and just calling blind and skipping the apartments. Don't worry if this ground's in it or anything like that. And skipping the apartments. Okay. And skipping the apartments. But it progressed. Later on, I started realizing where the market was, which was in this defective siding, where there's so much of it. I had been trained, and solicitors had been trained until then, to avoid the defective siding. Because there was so much lawsuits going around. They'd send a salesman over there, he'd do a song and dance, and then people say, well, thank you, but we think we're going to litigate this thing. So they were getting burned and wasted a lot of time, so they were trained to avoid it. But finally, though, in 98, late 98, someone called in off a Yellow Pages ad Tabor had, and they said, I got my Louisiana Pacific settlement, it's $900 for the whole house. That's what it got down to. I thought to myself, hold on, $900. I can find him $900 in savings. I can have a special sale going on to save $900. This amount is moved, don't matter anymore. And once I came to that conclusion, I started doing what everyone else was not doing. I started going after it, systematically telesurveying and identifying the subdivisions starting out with the Lawrenceville zip code, 303-43-4445. I mean, that's the home of defective siding, you know. That's 50,000 houses in those zip codes with defective siding. I got a map, and I started going and identifying each subdivision, what kind of siding it had, identifying the subdivisions with defective siding, and then systematically telemarketing those subdivisions using a street directory, a crisscross street directory. And then it got on, I did leaflets for several years too, which did not look like a leaflet. It looked like a note off a notepad. I would hand letter it. Please call me if you've ever thought about vinyl siding and hardy plank siding. I promise to give you the best price you'll ever see. Name, brands, quality, work. Call me, please, day or night. Mack Hilton, that's where I come up with Mack. Yeah, so it's straight, you know, the siding guy. It looked like it was a note. Quarter page rather than a leaf. It was reproduced, but it was in my hand lettering. And it looked like someone left them a note. They go right up to it and grab it and read it. Someone left them a note. And it was my leaflet. If it had been a leaflet, I'd taken it, crumpled it up, and not paid any attention to it. I did that for several years. That worked. And then I really got sophisticated. I'd take a voice recorder, and I would drive through the subdivisions and survey the siding on each house. It was a quick process. If the street numbers went 40-40, 40-50, 40-60, then, you know, it's a real quick process. And I would I'd go to these subdivisions, which I already knew had bad siding. I would just drive through them, survey them, and see the ones whose siding was wrecked. And I dictated into the thing, you know. 40-50, beat it, you know, I'd have a shorthand, a verbal shorthand, tell the exact type of siding, flat panel or beaded, and the condition of it, you know. I'd have a candy, super candy, etc. And then I would transcribe that onto a legal pad. It was a time-consuming process, but once you had this, then you could work them for years until they got their home resided. I would transcribe the addresses onto a legal pad, and then leave a space, and go to the street directory, and look up that street in the street directory, and get their name and number. And there's your list. There's a list of people that need it and have to have it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it works good. It works good. It works. And, and here's the approach, though, because you already know they need it. And so it's really okay. You go, oh, hey, Mr. Jones, hey, Mack the Siding Guy here, working your subdivision there. Noticed your house the other day about the siding there, that LP siding you got. Wanted to leave you a price for installed hardy plank, $5.90 a square. Be glad to help you anytime you want. Okay. If they said thank you or get lost, let it go. If they said, well, how much does that equal?